Everything's all hazy. Good morning. Good morning.
There you go.
Thank you, Miss Elizabeth.
Now I can go get my coffee.
Good morning, everybody. So far, for everybody, we have nobody. Why is this not working? Why is this not working? Is this thing on? I don't know if Facebook's
There's
cooperating.
zero. Oh,
Yes.
there's
Oh, there's one. Oh, we got one.
Who is it?
Facebook, I don't know. Facebook is not. It's Andrew Price.
Andrew Price.
Good morning.
Why does it
Brian.
say one, but there's two people
I know.
that commented?
Well, it's because Facebook hates us.
Thanks, Facebook.
Brian, good morning. I ran into somebody last week at, where the hell's the place we went for lunch on Friday?
I don't even know what day it is.
McAllister's.
No.
I went there with John. I ate McAllister's twice last week. I went there with John on Wednesday, or I don't know, one day last week, and ran into somebody who watches the show. So it's always cool to meet. It's funny. He saw me as I walked in the door, and he was like, and I always feel like I should know you, but a lot of times I don't know you. I have never met you in person. So, but it's cool. Always say hi if you see me out in town.
Yeah.
Her, come here.
Oh, right.
Ignore her because she's evil. She's not a nice person. She's not nearly as nice as she appears on.
I was going to do double horns,
phone.
but I only got one finger available.
You're a unicorn.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's what I thought, Andrew. I thought it was. I thought from the picture, I thought that it might have been you. I couldn't remember the name. I am so bad with names. So that was awesome. That was awesome.
It's okay. I'll remember your students' names for you.
Thank you. She does come in. She'll like walk into a class and meet everybody. Not even meet everybody, but she saw their names on a roster at some point, and then she just starts by a process of elimination. She'll meet like 3 people. She said, "Okay, I got 3 names down," and she'll figure out the other 4. And I don't even remember one of them. And it's terrible. She's only been in the classroom for 3 minutes.
It's okay. It's okay. What are we talking about today?
We are going to talk about, we're going to talk about carry guns. Last week, when we were on, somebody asked a question right towards the end of the video, and we hadn't been on in a couple of weeks prior to last week, Wednesday or Thursday, whatever day it was we got on.
Yeah.
Because we've had so much going on. So we had to do a pretty quick video, and somebody asked a question like, I don't remember how it was worded, but can you go into the differences between a carry gun and a home defense gun? And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Is there a difference? Maybe for me it's not. Maybe for you it is. We're going to talk about some definitions, I guess.
What is a carry gun?
Yeah, what is a carry gun? That's what we're going to talk about. What is a carry gun? What does that mean? Does it have to be a little gun? Does it have to be a gigantic gun? What is it? So, just have today and tomorrow left for the, what's up, Patrick?
Hi, Patrick.
Patrick and I used to ride motorcycles together.
It says
Long time
Seymour.
ago. Uh-oh.
This weekend. Oh.
Yeah, well, he was shooting guns and having fun, doing other stuff. I was hunting. I was watching my kid shoot a gun. It was awesome. One of my twins got his first deer this weekend, so both my boys have completed the quest of killing their first deer this year. So it worked out well that only one of them could go, and it was a terrible weekend. It was gross outside and nasty as far as weather goes, but it was great because they both got. Good morning, Brooke.
That's messed up.
It was awesome because they each got their not each this weekend, but my son Aiden got his first deer. Really nice buck too. Awesome, 4.5-year-old deer, 5.5 maybe. Awesome animal. Anyway,
Are you gonna do a quick inventory or no?
Yes, I am.
Just a quick one.
Just a quick one. I'm just going to walk around real fast just so you guys can see stuff. But today, tomorrow, last 2 days to take advantage of if you buy a CCW class or a basic pistol class, you can get the women's awareness class for free. If you buy the class online, just shoot us an email, training@therangestl.com. If you're a dude, you can't take the women's awareness class. However, if you're taking the basic pistol class, but you want to give the that was called women's awareness class. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by notifications on my phone. The women's awareness class to your sister, or your wife, or your next door neighbor or something, you can. However, you have to do it today or tomorrow. You can't buy the class today and then wait 3 months and say, hey, I bought a class in October, I want the free class. No. You have to get signed up for the class before the end of the month, which is tomorrow. It's the last day. All right. Excuse me.
Toodles.
My thing here. We're going to go wander around, do a real quick inventory, and then we're going to talk about what is a carry gun. I really hate that my phone is so hazy. I thought I cleaned it off, but I think I cleaned it off with an oily gun rag. That's what happens. Big guns in the summer, big guns in the winter. I'm right there with you, Brian.
There's a good carry gun right there.
Which?
Right ahead of you.
Which one? There's lots of guns ahead of me. I was. What if it's this thing?
We'll go with the Beretta.
That's a good carry gun?
Just to the right a little bit.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
This is your good carry gun.
Yeah.
1301. So we got shotguns. We've got Beretta 1301. I've got some 590s and 500 pump action guns. A couple of JM Pros up here as well.
That white camo might actually be a better option since winter is on the horizon.
That's your favorite time of year, isn't it?
Yes. So I can carry white camo.
So you can carry white camo shotguns. Yes. Anyway, we have shotguns. Kent, good morning. All right, long guns, all sorts of options up here. Again, I'm going to go through this pretty quick, but I've got some IWI stuff, CZ, Bren. Just these guns are pretty cool. Anyway, some Daniel Defense, Smith & Wesson, SIG, FN. I've got a couple of SIG crosses in both SIG 6.5 and 308. Some MCXs and M400s. A couple of Desert Tech. All in... Oh, no. I've got 5.56 and 308. We were out of 308 for a while. But I've got 308 and 5.56 up there. A couple of lever guns as well. Henry Big Boy in 44 mag. And then a 22. A couple of 22s up there. And then moving on down here, I've got some CMMG 308, 5.56 rifles, 7.62 by 39, and then some pistols in 9mm, 5.56, 10mm, 7.62 by 39, and 5.7. So both Descents and Banshees. All right, into the handgun case. We've got quite a few Shadow Systems pistols in here, XR, MR, and DR 920s. No CRs. That's interesting.
Because they sell so fast.
They do sell fast. Springfields, I've got SA35s, Prodigies, Echelons, Hellcats, XDMs, Smith, M&P 2.0s, Equalizers, 5.7, SD9s, CSX, lots of SIG options, 320s, 365s, M17 and 18, Beretta 92 variants, lots of different variants there, CZ P10Fs, P09s, P10C, and a couple of CZ75s. FNX 45s, FN 509s, 545s, Don't see too many of those. And then several Canic options. Glock 45, 34, 43X. What the hell is that? Is that a 19? No, it's a Glock 45, sorry. There's a 19. So lots of 9mm options in there. Walther, PDP-Fs, Q4, Q5, PPQ, PDP, Compact, PPKs. Man, we have lots of Walthers. Ruger 5.7, Security 9s, Max 9s, EC 9s, Taurus, G2s and 3s and 4s. Oh, no 2s, sorry, just 3s and 4s. And then a couple of AirX, Delta L, M, and 2 zeros. Wally says, please contact me. I have a Mossberg pump-action shotgun for sale. Well, all you got to do is bring it in, Wally. Bring it in. If you want to sell it, we can take a look at it and let you know. Can't give you a price over the phone or over Facebook Live. Used guns. I've got Walther PPS, Ruger SP 101, VP9, PPQ, Smith Governor. Back there in the back. SIG 320, M&P Shield and 40, Walther CCP, FN 509, Mossberg MC1, whoa, Remington R51. Holy moly. Have you ever tried to take one of those things apart?
No.
They are not fun. This thing, Remington R51.
Ooh.
They are.
Next up with the detection.
It's weird. It's a weird gun. And a car, E9.
Is it like a rotating barrel like the...
I truly don't remember. They were not around really long. I don't know. I honestly don't even know if they still make them. Truthfully. I really don't think so. But the thing shot okay.
What's that other Remington handgun that came out a couple years ago? I think it's R1.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look it up. I think it's R1. They don't make a
Well,
lot
maybe.
of handguns.
No.
I know they have 1911s.
Yeah. That's what I thought
Maybe
an
that's
R1
what an
was.
R1 is.
Yeah, that's what I thought it
There's
was.
another, I think it's a striker fighter. I'm going to look it up.
All right. So you got to talk about carry guns and
That's fine.
home defense guns and all that
Well,
stuff.
get started.
Okay. So if you missed the first part of the video last week on, I don't know what day, Wednesday or Thursday, whatever day we were on, we had somebody ask the question of if we could dive into the difference between a home defense gun and a carry gun.
It's an RP9.
RP9. Okay. Anyway, home defense gun and a carry gun. What's the difference? I don't know.
Great.
Like, I don't know.
Show's over.
So, yeah, done. Question answered. Obviously, it depends very much for other people, or, for individual people. A lot of people assume that a carry gun is a little bitty gun. Dang it, I meant to go find like a LCP or something silly. Yeah. That's what a lot of people consider to be a carry gun is, hey, I want a gun to carry on me. And when they say that, they're talking about little bitty things. This, first off, internet, the world is safe. My gun is empty. But this is what I carry on me every day. Whether I'm in pants and a sweatshirt or shorts and a t-shirt, full-size gun is what I carry on me every day. That doesn't mean you should or you have to or whatever. The biggest thing to understand is that small guns, given the same caliber, what is this? Is it a LCP?
LCP2.
LCP2. So at least this is the not as bad version. But again, internet, look.
Because it's striker fired and not double action.
Yes.
Hater.
Yes, it's still not striker fired. It's still hammer fired, but it's weird. Anyway, this gun is way harder to shoot, even with the super awesome pinky extension on the magazine. It's it's a ring finger extension, not a pinky extension. Sorry, I didn't have that on camera.
Why are your pinkies important?
Pinkies add leverage. Pinkies add leverage. So we want to. Can I shoot this gun? Sure, but oh man,
Watch
my
the
thumb. But still, if you think about how you're supposed to grip the gun, even if my pinky was on it and it's wrapped all the way around this, your other hand has a really hard time holding on. This gun is violent to shoot, and it's a smaller caliber than this gun. Okay, substantially different in size.
It's comical.
Substantially different in size. Okay, this gun's way easier to shoot for me. That doesn't mean it's way easier to shoot for you. But for most people, they are more comfortable shooting a larger gun. My opinion is that you should carry whatever gun you can shoot comfortably. Because if you bought this to carry, and you come out to shoot it, and it sucks to shoot, and you don't enjoy it, you won't shoot it. So you won't train with it. You won't understand how the gun works or how it doesn't work. And then when you need it, it may not work. So, what is the difference between a carry gun and a home defense gun? One's at home and one's on you. That's it. On you when you leave home. They can be the same thing. They may be different. Somebody like Miss Elizabeth, who is of a different stature than I am as far as height and size goes, may not. I mean, there's no way she could carry this gun.
No, it's no way.
Except that she does carry that gun.
Same
right?
gun.
Same gun. So, and now, are there times when what else do you have that's a gun that you carry?
I might be 365, yeah.
Right. That's a smaller gun. Is that easier to carry than what you have? Not necessarily.
Not me.
Sometimes it's harder.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes it's actually harder to carry a small gun.
I mean, that's me specifically. I think some people can get away with carrying a smaller gun much easier.
Sure.
I think it's very specific to my body type and the way I carry my gun, the pants that I wear, and just the way that I dress in general. I can carry a full-size gun because I don't wear a lot of tight-fitting clothing, and I just don't dress that way. So it works for me.
But you will also carry that in yoga pants.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess
How is that not tight-fitting?
And I guess my shirt, like that, the GOA shirt that I have is actually pretty form-fitting, and if I try to carry my P365 in it, it kind of like keels out, and my grip is much more exposed because I don't have as much barrel downward to push up against my pelvic bone to hold my grip in. So if I have a little gun, let me see if I can do this here. If I have a little gun, it wants to say that the top is the grip. It wants to keel out like this. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So it wants to keel out like this, and so it pushes out against my shirt. Where
Because
if
you
I
have more weight up here than down here.
It's like an iceberg. You want more down below the belt line, so that way it holds it straight up and down, versus having more up top. It wants to keel out a little bit. So that's the way that it works for me. I definitely have better luck with a larger gun than a smaller gun.
And which one do you enjoy shooting more?
Oh, my larger gun, for sure. 100%.
For sure. Now, that doesn't mean that for some people that their hand size and that sort of thing wouldn't. A P365 might fit their hand really well. Right?
Well, I think that's a common misunderstanding because for one, your pinkies need to get on the gun. That's, if at all possible, get your pinkies on the gun. Like what you were saying for leverage is going to help you manage recoil. To be clear, we're not controlling recoil; we're managing recoil, so we can get the gun back on target quickly. But you sacrifice something. Everything is a sacrifice in the gun world. Not only are you sacrificing capacity, capacity is much more limited with a gun like this. You're also sacrificing ease of use and the ability to rack the slide. This thing is actually really difficult to rack the slide on. It's so small. The spring is much tighter and stronger, and you have less to hold on to. So you're just using your fingertips here. It's a lot harder to use in general. Your sight radius is shorter, so you have less room for error when you're shooting it and trying to be accurate with it. And just the more recoil, because it doesn't have as much weight behind it, you're going to experience more felt recoil.
And your ability to, again, to manage that recoil is lessened because you can't have a great grip on it. Now, can you still shoot that gun accurately?
Absolutely.
For sure. Without a doubt, you can.
Yeah.
Is it as enjoyable for me to shoot that gun in a smaller caliber than it is to shoot this full-size gun? Absolutely not. I own an LCP that I've had for a long time. I don't even know the last time I shot it or carried it or whatever. I bought it because I wanted a little bitty gun, and I thought it'd be great for concealed carry.
Sure.
It's not. It's not.
I was going to say something else. Did you finish your thought? I didn't want.
Sure.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
You don't care.
I do. I'm trying to be better. So the distance between the back of the grip, the back strap, and the trigger, you want to be able to reach that with your fingertip pad, ideally. I don't want to have to rotate my hand around the gun to be able to reach the trigger. So that's your measurement that you want to find as far as the size of your hand. The common misunderstanding is like, oh, the gun's really heavy. And like, I don't want to hold it out here for very long. You don't have to. You can just drive the gun out, take a shot or two, come back down, relax. In fact, we encourage people to do that. It's like, just come out, take a couple shots, and come back down and relax. A lot of people think they just have to keep shooting until the gun runs empty, and that's not the case. You can absolutely relax and practice on your presentation and all that stuff. The weight behind carrying it is definitely something to consider, but it's not as much of a thing as you think it is. People talk about, oh, this gun weighs this many ounces and this many ounces, and oh, this is going to be better for carrying because it's lighter. And I mean, yes, I can see that, obviously the facts are there, but you get a good belt and a good holster that can hold the gun up the way that it should be without you having to over tighten your belt. That's going to make a huge difference too.
Yeah, the weight matters, but something that's an ounce or two lighter or heavier, I'm not worried about that. If what?
When I went to the doctor the other day, they made me get on the scale. It was such a bad day. I was so mad. I've lost a decent amount of weight recently, so when they made me get on the scale and I got up there, it was like 3 pounds heavy. It's 3 pounds, but it was frustrating.
Anyway,
don't wear your gun to the doctor either. It's awkward.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
Don't do that. Especially in a Filster Enigma, because it's not like you can just take it off real easy. And if they got to poke around in your belly or something, like, this is awkward. Can you just give me a minute? I gotta
do a thing. Anyway, so now something that I will tell people, like if they're brand new to firearms and are wanting to buy their first gun, a lot of times this is what people think they want. This is something like this, okay? Because it's a small gun and that's what they have in their head. Is my goal is to conceal carry. I'm a small person. I need a small gun. This is what I want to buy. Or somebody, typically male person telling female person, well, you're a small person, go buy a little gun or a little revolver or whatever. You don't know what you want, but this is what you're told you want, is this. And it seems to make sense to you. I will typically tell people, articulate it this way, that, hey, start with a full-size gun, right? Buy a full-size gun first. You're going to learn how to shoot it. You're going to understand the everything that goes into shooting. Take your classes with that full-size gun first. Get to understand that. Then, a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, when you feel like you're ready to carry a gun, then move to something like this, if you still want one. Okay? Now that you know how to shoot your gun and how to properly grip it and all that sort of thing, and you actually are executing those things properly, when you pick up this gun now, you're going to go, holy crap, that does not fit my hand well. Or maybe you rent one. It's one of the great things that come to a place like us is you can rent a gun to try it out, and you do not like the recoil impulse. So you're like, okay, well, maybe I should figure out how to carry this thing instead of making the sacrifice, because I don't like shooting this, but if I'm going to carry it, you got to shoot it. you have to. Certainly just my opinion. But you'll figure out how to make yourself carry this. And maybe this isn't the answer. Maybe this is legitimately too big for you and you just can't get away with it. That's fine. But you'll end up with something kind of in between here and here. Then this gun could be your home defense gun. Or even if you did decide that the Ruger LCP was the gun for you, this would definitely make a better home defense gun. You could mount a light to it. You could, it holds more ammo. It is easier to shoot, to make longer shots, and all that sort of thing. Then you could legitimately have a home defense gun and a carry gun. But for a lot of people, it's one and the same. And it's not worth getting wrapped around the axle of having to, and this is assuming we're talking about pistols, because for some people, your home defense gun may be a shotgun or a rifle. It may not be a handgun. So if that's the case, then obviously you have two different things.
Yeah. Good morning, Eric and AD Demand. Add Demand. And Mom. Hi, Mom. Also something to consider, we're talking about sizes of guns, but what about caliber? That's a common question that comes up. I think for the most part, the gun world has squashed the caliber argument. But there's obviously some battles that still exist there. Also, holster selection. If you get this really obscure gun out of the case over there because it looks really cool, or it's cheaper, or it's more expensive, or whatever the case is, if it's more of an exotic type of gun, you're gonna have a harder time finding extra magazines, holsters, any accessories, anything like that. So it's just going to make things more difficult. Same thing with a caliber. If you choose to go with a weird caliber, like a 5.7, people will love 5.7. Good luck. Good luck finding ammo. Good luck finding variations of guns that you can choose from, holsters, all that stuff. So everything that you do, every sacrifice that you make, there's a big picture to that. If you choose to get a super tiny gun that's not very common, then you're going to have a hard time finding ammo for it. Let's just take, for example, 380 versus 9mm. 380 is harder to find, and it's more expensive, even though it's smaller and everything like that. So 9mm has proven itself time and time again. All the law enforcement agencies, federal agencies, all of them are going back to the 9mm after trying the larger calibers, and statistically proven that just not as big picture effective. Obviously the bigger holes and all that stuff matters, but there's a big picture there. There's capacity, there's the ability to shoot it, the gun's longevity, all kinds of things to consider.
And let's not gloss over the obvious. There's also cost. When it comes to an agency trying to figure out, right?
I'm shocked at 380.
I'm shocked at 380. I don't know what that means.
Elaborate a little bit more.
Yes.
Please.
I'm not, in case it's confusing, to speak for me, I'm not a fan of 380. I don't understand the point of it. I could understand a little bit if you had same size gun, right? If you had, the price, okay. If you had this gun that could shoot 9mm or 380, and you were very recoil sensitive, 380 would make sense to me because it's lower power. You'll have less recoil given the same size gun, right? In most cases, 380 is centered around little itty bitty guns that are hard to hold on to, so the felt recoil, the amount of energy that's being thrown backwards is less, but how much you feel and the ability to control the gun is harder because it's smaller, doesn't fit your hands properly. And we don't need to get all the way into, how to grip a gun and all that sort of thing. But if I cannot hold on to this gun properly, right? I mean, I can hold on to it properly to where I don't hurt myself, but not the way that I want to be able to control it. I would not be able to shoot this gun as fast as I can shoot my gun, just simply because I can't hold on to it as well. So 380 sucks because almost all their guns are little. Now, something like a P365. Do they make that in XL with 380? Let's just say. I don't know. I
think it's just a regular.
Let's just say it's the regular 365. But you can get 9mm or 380, and let's just say the gun fits your hand really well, and then it becomes, okay, for whatever reason, I like the softer shooting 380. Okay, that makes sense to me a little bit. However, you're giving up power.
Velocity,
Yeah.
the reliability of your hollow points expanding, that's all really important. And if you don't know those things, that's fine, but let's just investigate and take a class, learn about that sort of thing. We talk about that in basic handgun class, like what's the point, of these different calibers and things like that. One thing I usually I bring up in my class when it comes to choosing a small gun versus a large gun is, most people have seen the movie Men in Black. When they give Will Smith the little bitty noisy cricket, they call it, he's like, what'd you give me this thing for? And then he shoots it the first time and he goes flying across the room. It's obviously not that extreme with a smaller gun, but the concept is the same. It's like, it's just little bitty gun. There's not much there to absorb the energy that you're containing. The round, the cartridge, is trying to explode and make that gun come apart. The more metal and material you have there to contain it, it's going to make the whole experience much better.
I like what Patrick says. If you have to carry a 380, at least make it some cool old steel Walther or something like that. I agree.
God, those PK 380s are awful.
They are, but they're cool.
That's immediately what I envision is James Bond gun.
Yeah.
The PK 380. Yeah, that is one double action trigger I do not like.
Which says a lot.
Really, it does. I can see why most people don't like double action because most of them suck. But the SIG P250, perfect.
So anyway, if you have questions about what makes a good, and again, keeping it to pistols, carry gun versus home defense gun, throw it in the comments if we can answer again later, or if it's on YouTube. And keep in mind, if you're watching us on YouTube, we're not getting your questions live. So, but leave the. I do not like
cheetah.
the cheetah. That's me. I know there's people that do like it. I've
Is that the baby 92? The cheetah? The DASA?
What the hell's a T-32?
232? Oh, is that the DASA little baby SIG?
That's a new thing?
Yeah, I feel like the cheetah and the I think it's a P232. I think they're both DASA little baby guns.
I'm not familiar with that one. Cheetah, I don't like. Feels weird in my. I don't.
That's a DASA, right? Or is that the flip top one? The one with the barrel that
I think
opens
it's
up the
a
top.
flip top.
Yeah.
I think. At least that's what I have in my head.
Or Tomcat
So.
or something. P232, yeah.
Yes, think of-
G2C Taurus 940 cal. I think Taurus makes the G2, the G3, the G4. I think they make a decent pistol for the price. I think that if you can afford a better gun, I would choose that as far as reliability is concerned. But Taurus has not been that terrible. The price point is pretty good for what you're getting. It's just as long as you understand, everybody comes into this world at a different place. I don't even hate high points. And it's like there's a gun, there's a gun for everybody. And if that means that you saved up every last dime you had to buy the only gun that you can afford, and that's a high point, everybody deserves to defend themselves. And whatever you got to get into this gun world with is fine. You can work on bettering yourself with a high point just like you could a $1,000 SIG out of the case. And in fact, if you use a gun that's harder to use, guess what? You're going to learn.
Yeah, when you can afford something better, you really appreciate the niceties of that new thing.
Absolutely.
Right? I don't remember who it was. I think Chris was telling me a story of somebody who he knew that bought a high point, and to who was it that asked? Joshua said, "Would you still be friends with someone who runs a high point?" Sure, right? As long as they know what they've got, they don't expect it to be some miracle thing. You still have to know how to use it.
Know your limitations.
They're tough,
Yeah.
right? I would caution somebody like, hey, if you can save up a little bit more money and buy something a little bit nicer, do it.
Yeah.
But there are some that run, and that's what I was going to say with Taurus. I've seen personally, just as somebody who sees a lot of guns come through classes, I've seen some where people are training with them and using them all the time and have no problems. I've also seen them fall apart.
Yeah.
Right? We had one guy whose loaded chamber indicator flew out of the gun while we were shooting in a class one time. Right? I have also seen good things with their customer service and getting stuff fixed and all that sort of stuff. If that's what you can afford, that's fine. Don't think that you have to settle for it. Again, if you have the ability to wait and save up a little bit more, I would say do that over spending the money on a high point. But if that's what you can afford, so that you can afford ammo and that you can afford some training, do it.
Absolutely.
I'd much rather you do that than not be able to have anything. They're not a great gun. Okay? But they work.
They do.
They're super clunky, super heavy, have a long, heavy trigger, low capacity for given the size of the gun, but they do work.
I had a lady in class. I had a full class, seven students, and one of the ladies shooting a high point, and she shot better than everybody else in the class. It's the person behind the gun that makes a good, that is hitting the bullseyes. It's not the gun. Everybody's like, oh, this gun's really accurate. And yes, to some extent, some guns are more accurate than others, given that you put them in a vise and clamp them down and pull the trigger without any human, movement. But, it's just shoot what you can and do the best you can. Get into the world and give it a shot.
Yeah.
350.
So, Frank,
327 revolver and a 380 special. Maybe a 357 Magnum and a 38 special.
Because those are you're talking different, like mixing up terms and calibers and stuff.
So maybe you're asking. So 357 Magnum and 38 special is very common to hear in the revolver world.
To be able to be using the same gun.
Yes, revolvers. Some revolvers are one of the few guns that can take two different calibers. There's all kinds of special stuff behind that. But a 357 Magnum revolver can also shoot a 38 special. But that's a 357 Magnum is just a. It's got more gunpowder behind the same size bullet as a 38 special. There's a 327 Federal Magnum cartridge.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what he's asking. 327 is a.
It's not familiar.
Is a cartridge, but the question was, what's the difference between a 327 revolver and a 380 special? So making an assumption of a newer person to this world, getting it mixed up, and it's 357 Magnum and 38 special. We're assuming that's the question that was asked.
Yeah.
Right.
Dawn, you do not have to have a gun to attend the class. If you're talking about like a basic class or CCW, you do not have to have a gun to attend that. Even in the intermediate, you don't have to have a gun. By the time you get to defensive series, defensive 1, 2, 3, low light, so on and so forth, we would prefer you to have your own gun at that point because we want you to be able to get a holster for it and a belt and start to use your gun the way that you're training with your gun. That gun has become an extension of you. So we want you to have your gear, your guns, so that way you're developing the skills with your tools. So I don't think I finished my thought on the 357 and the 38 special. The 38 special is just a shorter version of the 357 Magnum, so it's a little bit less powder behind it, so the bullet's not moving quite as fast. It's definitely going to have substantially less recoil. 38 special guns cannot shoot 357 Magnum. Only 357 Magnum can shoot 38 special.
So here's two cartridges, okay? I need a base. So one of these is 357 Magnum, the other 38 Special. You can see that the 357 Magnum a little bit longer, okay? This can take more powder. So same projectiles. I wish these projectiles were exactly the same. These particular ones are not, but they could be. Same projectiles, same weight, all that sort of stuff. But in 357 Magnum, you have more power behind it. So it's a...
You know what else is just like that? 380 and 9 mil.
9 millimeter and 380, exactly the same thing. So 9 millimeter in some parts of the world, or I'm sorry, 380 in some parts of the world is actually called 9 millimeter short. However, they're not interchangeable in the guns. You can't take a 9 mil and shoot a 9 mil short through it. It does not work that way. But for 357 Magnum revolvers, you can shoot 38 special in them. All right, so just thought I'd show those again, assuming that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, right. There's so many odd calibers out there. every caliber is an invention. Usually the number that you see at the beginning, like I'm looking at 10 millimeter right here, that's telling you the diameter of the bullet. That didn't sound good. I just heard a bunch of ting, ting, ting hit the floor as he was messing with the ammo. So, for example, 10 millimeter auto. 10 millimeters is the diameter of the bullet. You know what else is 10 millimeters in diameter?
Every socket I've ever freaking lost.
Yes, you and
Anyway,
everybody
sorry.
else who has a socket set. But 40 Smith & Wesson is also a 10 millimeter diameter bullet. It's just interesting how ammunition works. Again, we want to clarify that you can't don't put a 10 mil in your 40 or your 40 in your 10 mil. There are some specifics in that. We're not going to get into that because it's so convoluted. But just for the internet world, for you to say, well, you do.
Don't mix and match.
We're just going to stop right there. Make sure that the stamping on your gun, which is usually on the barrel of the slide, it'll tell you the caliber, matches the box. And let's say you drop some brass on the ground or something when you're shooting or something, and you pick it up to put it back in your gun, make sure the brass says the caliber as well. You can turn around, look at the head stamp on the back, and make sure that you're not putting a 300 blackout in your 5.56.
Oops.
I had.
And that happens. We've seen it happen here, where somebody literally dropped ammo on the ground. Oh, that sucks. Reach down, pick it up. Only they didn't pick up the ammo they actually dropped. They picked up something else that doesn't work in your gun, except to make it go kaboom.
Nobody was hurt. Nobody was hurt. The gun was hurt. Poor gun. It impresses me every time I've ever seen. Now, this doesn't happen often, and it usually happens from careless mistakes. But anytime I've seen a gun go kaboom, the shooter is usually spared any damage, and it's because of the fantastic way that firearms are designed. They will blow out the mag well. All that energy has to go somewhere, and the mag well is the path of least resistance. So it usually blows out the mag well, and it keeps the shooter spared, which
It works
is
one
fantastic.
time. This is true. It does.
The EP9. Oh, I think it's the Ruger. It's like the
P9. Miss Leone, good morning.
Oh, it's EC9 maybe. I think it's the EC9. It's like the LC9, but the EC9. I think it doesn't have front cocking serrations and maybe something else. But
who makes if it's EP9 you're talking about? Who makes it?
Yeah, let us know.
Keep in mind, first off, we don't work on the retail side.
Yeah.
Right. So, and trying to keep up with all the new makes and models of the latest and greatest stuff is
Stuff.
It's beyond me. If you want me to run my mouth a bunch about how to hold your gun and shoot it well, I'm happy to. But as far as what the newest version is and what the difference is between the EP9A and the EP9B2 Plus, I am not that person.
Let's talk about SIGs.
We have, oh my goodness. SIG was such a weird thing because they had, 800 versions of a gun. And then they said, you know what? We've gone bonkers. We're going to make this class of gun, not class of gun, but this model of gun smaller because we've gone bonkers with it. Okay, thank you, SIG, for doing that. And then they started that for about a week and a half. And they're like, oh, well, now we can change the front sight and give it a new model name. Or we can change the stippling from having a little swoopy-doo this way to going straight this way and straight this way and give it a new model name. Like, what? And they're back up to having 827,000 versions of the P320 and the P365. They just came out with another 365.
Really?
AXG Comp special edition fortress. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
That's awesome.
Off-body carry.
Ryan, good morning.
Is that a question?
I'm assuming.
Yes. Don't do it.
Well, let's go back to considering. Well, some people have to off-body carry for whatever.
Nobody has to.
Yes, they do.
Nope.
Some people.
Tell me who.
Maybe somebody in a wheelchair.
Who?
I mean, I guess you could
Yeah.
keep it on your body, but I think it's just really important to understand that everybody has different situations.
Once. That's a different thing.
I'd said
than has to.
situations.
Yes, but you said some people have to. Nobody has to.
So
Maybe there's somebody who has to, but I don't know who that would be or why.
So there are some things to consider with off-body. Let's choosing a gun for off-body carry. If you're going down the path of off-body, I get this a lot with husbands signing up their wives or whatever. Like, well, is it small enough she can throw it in her purse? Hold on. Have you ever looked at a chick's purse? They're usually enormous. Usually.
And they're chaotic.
They are.
Disorganized.
So I think
Mess.
that you can have a bigger gun in a purse. I don't recommend off-body carry, if at all possible. But obviously some people, and I don't want to alienate anybody by this either. If you choose to go off-body, I don't want you to say, well, screw those guys. They're not going to help me with that. And just to be clear, we would never say, don't do that. That's a terrible, let's talk about the objective reasons why this is good or bad, and then you take that and make your choice, which, of course.
Oh, and all the trainers here are on board with that. Like, we have our own personal preferences.
Sure.
And I always warn people when they ask for my opinion, that's exactly what you're going to get is my opinion, but that's all that it is.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, if you want to take the information that I give you, some based on facts, some based on simply just opinion, and do with it what you want, you can. If you're going to make a sound decision, if you're going to take information and put it all together and say that this still works good for me, then I'm okay with it. If you do it, well, I'm going to do it just because it's easier or because somebody else told me to or whatever, that's not you making a decision. That's just going through motions and doing what somebody else told you to do.
And it's everything is a sacrifice. If you choose to carry off body, you're sacrificing the ability to get your gun out fast. You're also sacrificing whatever stress it is now included in having a gun in a bag. And what I mean by that is if you're a woman and you have a gun in a purse or something and you go home and set your purse on the counter or you set it on the back of your chair when you're at a restaurant, that is a bad idea. There's a gun in there and that needs to be secured, locked up, kept away from curious people when left unattended. I'm already anxious about where my purse is. If there was a gun in it, God, that is so much to think about and so much to stress about, and I just don't want to deal with it.
You got to think that your purse or your backpack or whatever is always going to be a target because they're going to think you've got something valuable in there, phones or car keys or laptops or cash, whatever, right? Just if it's a purse, it could be jewelry and stuff as well. I mean, it could be everything if it's in a purse, but that's a target. So whether they think you have a gun in there or not is immaterial. It's you're leaving this thing sitting in the front of your cart or hanging on the back of your chair at the restaurant or whatever, and somebody just comes by to grab it for the sake of grabbing it, and then now they've got a gun as well as whatever else you kept in there. I'm not a fan of it. I totally understand why some people do it, and I'm also totally okay with it. I get it. My preference would be if you do off-body carry, whatever that thing is, your backpack, your purse, your what the hell do they call the damn thing?
Sling packs?
No.
Fanny pack.
Fanny pack, yes.
Tactical fanny
if you
pack.
carry in that fanny pack, obviously that stays on you. It's attached to you. It's slung over you. It's attached to you. I'm much better about that. Vinny, actually, one time, we had a customer come in here wearing a fanny pack that he had a gun in, and Vinny's like, I got to try this. And mess with it a little bit. So we have one in our office. We have a fanny pack with a holster in it and such. Vinny was quite annoyed at how fast he was with that fanny pack. He's like, I hate it. But
I
it's
love
so
it.
easy.
Yeah.
Right? And it was. And it worked. Right? So there's pros and cons to everything you do. If you weigh those pros and cons, and you make the right decision for you, as long as you understand the limitations, okay, then that's all good. Velcro holsters are key to bag organizing there. Yeah, and that's a holster for sure. That carrying in a bag, whatever that bag is, doesn't mean you drop a gun in your bag.
Please don't. Please.
It needs to be in a holster.
There was a situation at another place that.
Keep going. I'm going to grab some.
There was a situation where someone had loaded, chambered their 1911. Okay, so if you're not familiar with 1911s, they have a manual thumb safety, and they also have a grip safety on the back. Okay, so the grip safety is a passive safety that just has to be pushed in by your grip. But if that button that sticks out is not pushed in, then technically the gun should not fire. And it also has a manual thumb safety that you can turn the gun on and off. So this person dropped their gun, loaded, chambered, safety on, into their duffel bag, and went upstairs, went to the bathroom, set their duffel bag down, just dropped it on the floor. Everything happened just right, and that gun fired. Yeah. It was not in a holster. The trigger was not protected. The only thing that will make modern handguns fire is the trigger, and you need to protect it at all costs if it's loaded. Yes, the Velcro.
Protect the trigger. This is a Kydex holster with Velcro on the back that can be used inside of a bag, whether it's a backpack or a purse or whatever. If you have a Velcro panel in there, you can attach this to it. This is made by Crossbreed. It's a fantastic product. It's a true Kydex holster, okay? So you're not accidentally pressing that trigger no matter what. Some people get just literally, it's like a wrap of Velcro to put their gun in and put it in a thing. That's not for me, right? That gun's not coming out of there until you need it to, okay? I'm actually having a hard time getting out of there. Get a real holster. It's got Velcro on it. Get a real holster to put your gun in.
Ken asked, opinion on waist Velcro holsters, what's a good brand? So I'm assuming you're asking about a Velcro holster like this that can be mounted on a belly band. So Crossbreed actually makes a belly band that is meant for these. And there are also fanny packs type bags, sling bags, and things like Vertex makes them, and I think Crossbreed even has Lena Michelik's version of it, but that you can put those Velcro pieces in there to secure your gun. But yeah, you can put some Velcro on the back of something, a holster that you took the hardware off of, or something to that effect too, I think.
So yeah, like she said, I actually have one of, not for an LCP2, but I have this holster set up on a belly band for a Glock 19. That was my go-to. A lot of my time off work is spent in like gym shorts or sweatpants and a t-shirt or whatever. That was my go-to for a long time until we got the Enigma systems. So, which is what Liz is wearing right now. You need to be taller.
I know.
But it's a totally self-contained system.
I don't know if you can see it because I'm wearing black. But
yeah.
It's
but
got.
You can tell. Totally self-contained system that keeps the gun attached to you with a real holster. Much better option than a belly band. Much easier to draw from this than a belly band. The whole belly band will move a lot of times when you try to draw to that. This has got a leash that wraps around your leg, and it's not nearly as uncomfortable as you think that it may sound like. I wear one all the time. I wore one last weekend, last Friday, all day. I wasn't wearing gym shorts. I was wearing regular shorts and a t-shirt all day long with that thing on, and it's no big deal. It's way better than the belly band, my opinion. The only downside to it, that a Velcro belly band, I don't like regular belly bands that a gun just goes in a pocket, okay? The Crossbreed belly band is a good product. The only advantage that the belly band has is that if you have multiple guns, you can take one holster off, put another one on in seconds. You can do the same with the Enigma, but it takes a little bit longer. It's screwed down.
Screws,
yeah. So it's not a big deal, but
I did. We were talking about the retention of Kydex and how he was just showing you that Kydex, that hard plastic, is retaining the gun in there to where it doesn't come out. And if you're an active person at all, that's important. If you run or jump around and your holster can accidentally come out of its holster, your gun can come out of its holster, that's not a good day. I don't know if you guys remember that guy, the FBI guy that was at a party or something dancing around, and I think he did a backflip or something, and his gun fell out of its holster. Well, the gun didn't go off when it fell. It went off when he went to grab it really fast, and his finger accidentally went into the trigger, and he shot some guy's knee. But his gun fell off his holster. And in this Enigma, and if you have a good Kydex holster, the gun is retained in there. There's retention on it. So much so, Saturday, I went into Dave's CCW class, and they were talking about retention of Kydex, and he's like, oh, you got your Enigma on, it's got good retention, and they were talking about doing cartwheels, and they were like, do a cartwheel so you can prove it. And I said, okay.
How much pressure did you feel? To do
All the pressure, but
in front of 25 people.
But I did it. I did it in a very limited space, but we had to pull it up on camera.
Yes, I didn't see that.
It was cool. My gun didn't come out, though. You know where else it didn't come out?
I was just going to ask.
At the trampoline park. We went and took our families there, and my sister came too, and I don't do anything scary unless my sister does it first. Well, she got me to do a front flip. I had my gun on the whole time, this exact setup, and did a little front flip off the trampoline, and it's still there. It's all fine and dandy.
It's all good.
Yep.
So this is the Enigma setup, if you don't know, but this goes, it's funny they have to put a sticker on this that says this side towards your body. It's like a claymore. But, so this is just, this belt goes around your waist, tighten it down. It's got this really cool magnetic buckle. It's pretty slick, and then this is the leg leash that wraps around your leg. So it's a super cool product.
Hi, sissy.
Oh, there's your sister. Speak of the devil. It's a really cool product. If you think a belly band is the answer for you, try the Enigma, please. Filster Enigma. It's an awesome product.
You know what else has been really enlightening is rolling around in it too. Like getting in little scraps and stuff, rolling around trying to practice weapons retention, or just going through some dynamic what-if situations, and it's just nice knowing your gun's not going to fall out of its holster if you're rolling around and you're not standing straight up like you would at a shooting range or something. Like, real fights don't look like that. It's not like a gentleman's war. It's like you stand across the room. It's like, okay, it's your turn. Okay, it's my turn. It doesn't work like that. Most defensive encounters I've seen have required some hand-to-hand situations as well, and you're moving around dynamically on the ground, whatever the case is. I definitely want my gun to stay in its place.
Yes, for sure. So we have gone on a very long time.
We have?
Yes, it is 9:30.
About an hour.
So that's awesome. I love the conversation. It's a good conversation. Yeah. And this conversation started because of a comment from last week. So if you guys ever have questions, please throw it in the comments. If it's something we can get to right then, we will. If it's not, we'll we deem it worthy, we'll try to address it another time. But we got to be done for today. We are behind.
Fine.
We got to go. So where's your list of upcoming deals?
Oh, yeah.
So we have a starting Wednesday, new deals coming. So instead of having Black Friday, we have a full month of Black Friday deals. Members only to start with. All right. So for the first week, every week it's going to change, and I think on Black Friday it's going to everybody can get everything and all that stuff. But members get early access to these deals. For the first week, Shadow Systems, which is a gun that I'm carrying and she's carrying, XR920 Combats are $300 off. MagTech 9mm cases, $259.99. And all knives, no matter the make, model, whatever, all knives are 30% off. Okay. That's for members only. If you're not a member and you want to become a member so you can take advantage of these deals, and again, every week they're going to change, but if you're not a member and want to become one, you can get the $100 initiation fee waived. So become a member, take advantage of deals. Keep an eye here via email, others, on Facebook or Instagram. You'll see the upcoming deals each week. So come out, shoot your gun, become a member, have some fun, take a class today or tomorrow. If you buy a basic pistol class or a CCW class, you get a free seat in a women's awareness course. That free seat has to be claimed before the end of the month. You can't buy the class today and then wait 3 or 4 months and email us and say, hey, I bought a class back in the day at the time and I want to get the thing for the ladies. No. So if you want to get the free class, you got to do it today or tomorrow. What else?
Oh, that's it. That's all I got.
What the hell's your problem?
It's just your big,
I was thinking,
like you were about to say something really important.
I was, but I lost it.
Surprise.
We do still have some, real quick, gosh dang it. This thing. We do still have some holsters. We have some Comtech holsters here for $25.
$25.
$25.
That's like a $65 holster.
Yes, depending on the holster, they could be $40, $50, $60. $25. No, I'm not going to go through each one for each make and model of gun. If you want one, come up here and dig through them and find some stuff. We had a really nice level 2 Glock 17 holster up there. It's like a $100 holster. Yeah, no, it was a Comtech. It was a Comtech holster.
Well, we had a Safari Land one that.
Yeah, and the guy got it for $25. So you never know what you're going to find. All right, that's it. We got to run. If you guys need something, come see us. What's the address? 14803 Manchester Road in beautiful Baldwin, Missouri. Come hang out with us, shoot your gun, buy something new, become a member, give Liz a high five, and stay awesome. You guys stay safe, be nice to one another. We'll catch you soon. Later.
Awkward pause. See, Charles? It's awkward.
We waited longer, Charles, just for you. We're going to keep waiting longer and stare at the camera so that Charles is happy that we kept pausing and waiting
still watching.
forever. Guys, go away.